Hello and welcome to EBAday 2022. I'm Hannah Wallace, and in the studio now to discuss data insights within payment flows is Sarafidis and Pankaj Gudimella from Microsoft. Hello to the both of you. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you.
So Pankaj, coming to you first, you're Director of Treasury at Microsoft. So I'd love to hear a bit more about your transformation journey within your Treasury and how this pertains to payments.
Sure. So Microsoft Treasury is responsible for managing the $150+ billion portfolio on our balance sheet. And we also provide around $12 billion in financing to our customers. In doing this, we do work with around 100+ banking partners across the globe. So in order to run the day-to-day activities, we have around 40 different applications that we use in-house. Several years back, we did an assessment of our landscape, and we had some opportunities that we found that we need to address. One is data silos. None of our databases were talking to each other. And the data volumes are growing at a pretty rapid clip. We had an increase in our operational costs. So we decided that we'll move all of our applications to Azure, which is the cloud platform of Microsoft. And the way we have done that is we basically centralized all the data into a centralized data platform or a data lake, if you will. And then we use technologies like Power BI to access the data and create rich visualizations in order to understand the state of affairs today and what are the specific actions that we need to take. And then we use machine learning to forecast the future. For example, forecasting our foreign exchange balances on a weekly, monthly basis. So overall, after our transformation, what we have realized is, number one, we have reduced our operational costs. Number two, we have reduced drastically our infrastructure footprint. And also, we gained the features that are native to a cloud environment, which is resilience, scalability, compliance, security, so on and so forth. So this is an ongoing journey, and we are still focused on rewriting some of our applications as SaaS services, so on and so forth. But overall, that's the transformation journey that we have been on for the last few years.
All right, a positive start. Thank you very much for bringing us up to date. And now, Christian, I know that you've been a long-standing member of the EBA, so it'd be great to hear a bit about what you're doing with the banks.
Yeah, thanks. And to build on what Pankaj just said, in some shape or form, all financial institutions are also working on the digital transformation strategy. It's a long-term play. It requires a vision, and it requires milestone, obviously. But as Pankaj said, they're all looking for the same thing in order to move to the cloud journey. So one is cost efficiency and scale. I would say the second one is agility and reduce time to market to bring new products to the market very, very quickly. And the third thing is really about innovation, how to bring new products that would not be possible without having, for example, the cloud. All of this, obviously, with an important layer of security, cybersecurity, and a solid control framework and compliance. As a matter of fact, there are some accelerating factors in this digital transformation strategy. So, for example, the pandemic. What we have seen during the pandemic is an explosion of digital payments. Why? Because clients, they have different expectations. When I say clients, think about the consumer, but also the merchants and also corporates like Pankaj. They want new payment methods, they want more real-time experience, they want to have a seamless integration of different capabilities, they want to be more mobile and so forth. Now think about a bank who is looking to improve their customer experience. One of the main challenges that they're facing now is to access data in real time in order to make the right business decision. Now, if you think about corporates, for example, in treasury services, what they want to see is to have a real-time cash balance. This requires from the banks to have a unified data layer to be able to provide this experience to the corporate. Think about, for example, another new payment method that we see growing a lot these days is buy now, pay later, BNPL payments method. In the context of real time, this requires an instant credit scoring. The only way to do this is to leverage data in order to make the right business decision. So all of this requires for the bank to think about their data, having a unified data layer. That's how Microsoft is helping, of course, for cost efficiency, helping the banks with our partners to move their workloads to the cloud, reduce the time to market, and also innovate with them. Now, the other aspect that is important is you have some industry compelling events that are improving the power of data. Like, for example, the ISO 222 migration, and Swift is doing a fantastic job to help the financial institution migrating to 2022. As you know, they're going to start now in November 2022. This is providing more richer data, a common language to help the banks being more simple for efficiency purposes, but also providing a better experience at the customer service, but also at the middle office and the back office for the sake of better fraud detection, better AML, or sanction screening. So you see the importance of having the right data insight, the business data, in order to make the right business decision. That's how we're helping the banks.
Sure, all right. Again, very positive. And so would you say that the real value is found within payments flows, and that's the data? I think I know the answer to that one, but also how is this having an impact on financial services as a whole?
It's all about bringing a better experience to the client and being more effective, bring more efficiency in the operation from the middle office and the back office. So if you look at the future, for example, well, it depends at which horizon you're looking at, but if you're looking from now to the next 5 years, I think all financial institutions will think about building this unified data layer. And I used to always say to transform the data into knowledge. So once the data are unified, it's a kind of data fabric, building a layer of analytics and leverage it with AI models to make the right decision in real time to offer this experience to the financial institution. I think we're going to see this over the next 5 years. Now, if you're asking me what is going to happen on the longer term, between 5 and 10 years from now, the world is probably going to evolve. And as we all know, and because there are some sessions here at the EBAday about cryptos, so the future is going to be the coexistence about the traditional fiat currencies and the payment methods for fiat currencies and digital wallets with crypto. Imagine the world in metaverse in 10 years from now. Metaverse, you can articulate this in terms of the consumer, for example, in the gaming area, where you would need some form of payment instruments or payment methods, but also in terms of enterprise, the B2B, but also in terms of industry. How to, for example, for industry, leverage the data coming from IoT devices and take the appropriate business decisions as well. So you see, you have a long-term perspective, but at the same time, this is far more concrete for the next 5 years to come.
All right, that's interesting. So taking all of that into account then, Pankaj, how do you see the future of payments then changing financial services as a whole? How is it shaping up?
So if we look at the payments ecosystem within Microsoft, a few decades back, we became one of the first corporate treasuries to become the SWIFT member. And since then, we partnered with all the financial institutions and SWIFT to innovate and be at the cutting edge of technology when it comes to the payments. 10 years back, we went live with ISO 20022 format in order to get rich information that we can draw analytics and make decisions upon. There are two things that we are currently focused on currently. One is SWIFT on Azure. So we partnered with SWIFT in order to do some POCs in the last few years to basically run our SWIFT infrastructure on Azure and basically create a cloud-native payment transaction. We were really successful in that project, and the next leg that we are looking for is actually putting that into production environment. The second thing that we are focused on is eKYC, which is a big pain point, not only for our team, but also for the industry. And I know the banks as well as the industry have been talking about this for a long time. So we really want to take a deeper look at it and try to solve it for us as well as for the industry.
Oh, that's very interesting. Christian, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, Anna, if there is one thing I believe, and this is a call to action, the financial services industry can work on, is to leverage the data in order to think about a digital identity. This is going to help all sorts of clients, the consumers, but also the merchants and the corporates to avoid fraud. The more we're going to go in digital payments, the more we're going to expose to fraud. And so all capabilities around digital identity are going to be super instrumental. And this is where Microsoft is also helping by leveraging, for example, Active Directory services from the company.
All right, so watch this space, it's safe to say. Some really good advice weaved in there as well. Gentlemen, I'll let you get back to the event to share your insights with the rest of the delegates, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.